In this video I'm sending out the 997 and bringing in the 991. The 991 is my daily driver. It's a 2012 Carrera S with 400 brake horsepower, finished in aqua blue.
Now, I'd put a post out on Instagram saying I'd do an FAQ on this car, and this is what you asked. And actually, it's a really good range of questions. So if you're maybe thinking about daily driving your Porsche 991, or maybe getting one of these to daily drive, this video may well help you out. What is the current mileage? The current mileage of this is just about to tick on to 77,000 miles. What is the fuel consumption daily driving? I would probably say I'm getting, when I'm trying to be kind of conservative, I would say I'm probably getting around about 20 miles per gallon. But there are just some days when you're driving it and you really just you're just in the mood. So you're probably looking at mainly 10 to 15 miles per gallon, but that's not all of the time. You know, most of the time I am going to work and back, so I am trying to be conservative with it. So probably around about 20 miles per gallon. What about the practicality of fitting in passengers in the 991? Well, it's not a problem. It really isn't. We've got 2 seats in the front, 2 seats in the back. The 2 seats in the back do fold down as well. So it gives you a bit of a bench to create more storage space if you're going on longer trips and longer journeys. But honestly, it's not even a problem. What are your monthly payments on the 991? Well, as with all of my cars, I don't have any monthly payments. I buy all of my cars outright. It's kind of a lucky situation, I guess, a hard-working situation that I find myself in. I understand that a lot of people do need to get the monthly payments in order to afford these cars, which is absolutely fine. I think you've got to do whatever you've got to do in order to get one of these cars. But for me personally, I've been lucky enough, worked hard, and yeah, I'm in a position whereby I can just buy the cars outright. And that's not bragging or anything like that. It's really not. It's just that is the situation I find myself. What is the ride comfort like with it being lowered, and does the underbelly scrape against anything? Ride is a little bit harsher than normal. You would probably expect that because it has been lowered. It's been lowered on H&R springs, which I find are a brilliant mix of being able to drive the car fast and hard on the roads, but also give you not too much of a harsh ride like you would get in like a GT3 or a GT3 RS. So the ride is absolutely fine with regards to scraping anything against like curbs or speed bumps. Not a single thing. Even though it's been lowered, I don't have any scraping, so I feel it's been lowered enough to look good, but it's still high enough to clear all of the curbs and all of the speed bumps, potholes, things like that. What are the tax and insurance costs? This is probably something that will be variable depending on person to person, where you live in the country and your own unique situation. But one thing that does remain the same is the amount of tax that anybody in the UK will have to pay for this car. So it's £415 per year in tax. Insurance wise, for me personally, I've got a lot of years, no claims, and I'm paying about £350 per year for this to insure. Obviously, like I say, there's so many variables, but yeah, £350 to insure it, £415 per year to tax it. Is the nav media system any good in these cars? No, it's absolutely crap. What you probably will want to do is take out the original system. In fact, not take it out entirely, but there's an add-on system called the Isudar, and it gives you, within the original PCM unit, it'll give you the CarPlay for Apple devices and Android devices as well. So it allows you to have the best of both worlds. You can switch it over to a CarPlay system, but you can also keep the original radio, you can keep the original nav, and you can also keep the CD player that's in there as well, if anyone still has CDs. I do, actually. So you'll definitely want to do some sort of upgrade, because the stock system on the 991 is honestly crap. What is best for daily driving, manual or PDK? It's all down to the individual. Me personally though, for daily driving, 100% the PDK is an absolutely fantastic gearbox. If I was using a car to go out on the B roads and thrash around the country roads, then 100% a manual. It all really depends on the situation, but I think the PDK, obviously you can use the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. So it does give you the best of both worlds, but as a daily driver, you know, quite often you're stuck in traffic. You're going through sets of traffic light after traffic light, and the PDK just makes driving this car an absolute doddle. It's a dream. So PDK for daily driving, manual for the twisties. I thought you also had an Audi A6 estate for a daily. Well, that is true, yes. We do also have an Audi A6 Avant, so it's the estate model, which we use that to do kind of like the heavy lifting. The wife drives that on most days. So I'll only ever use that if I need to do like a tip run or we've got an excessive amount of luggage to take somewhere. But 95% of the time I am driving the 991. I let her drive the Audi. Do you let your dog inside? 100%. He's part of the family. I love it when Cooper is sitting on the front passenger seat of this 991. I'm driving along. I wouldn't say he loves it, but he tolerates it. He knows probably at the end of it, he's going to be going for a walk or he's going to be on the beach or something like that. So absolutely 100% the dog can come in this car any day of the week. What's your favorite modification? Good question. Probably the throttle response kit is a phenomenal piece of equipment which completely transforms the way the car drives. That's in relation to the way the car drives, obviously. With regards to the way it looks, God, I don't know. I mean, I think I've done a few modifications which all sort of come together nicely. Like I say, I love these wheels. Lowering with the front end, I think it all comes together on this car. But if I had to pick one, I would probably pick the way it drives, and it is that throttle response kit. I think the throttle response on these isn't that great, I'll be honest with you, but that just kind of makes it more responsive when you're putting your foot down. Is the 991 too big for a fun road car, especially in comparison to your 997? No, not really. No, I think it is bigger than the 997, but it's still compact enough to feel like a sports car, and also big enough to take. You've got a lot of trunk space, luggage space in the front. You can put the rear seats down. You've got a lot of storage space in the back there. So I don't think that's a problem at all. Do you not worry about the depreciation caused by the unnecessary miles? Again, not really. Yeah, I get that putting more miles on one of these is going to depreciate the car a little bit faster. But am I really worried about that? Am I really worried about preserving the car for the next owner so that they can have more enjoyment out of it? Not at all. The miles that I have in it, I've always got a smile on my face, and if that comes at a cost, then so be it. So I don't worry about that at all. Is it better to daily than a 981? I would probably say so, purely because of the fact that you've got so much more storage and luggage space, and you can carry passengers. Well, you can carry four people in total in this car. Cayman 981, you've got good luggage space, to be honest with you, but you can only carry 2 people. So it all depends on your circumstances. If there's just you and one of your kids, or you and your wife, a Cayman is a great option as a daily driver, and it's going to cost less as well. But if you've got there's 4 of us, or generally 3 of us and the dog, the older son's at university, so he doesn't really come out on this much. So 3 of us and the dog, you're going to need something like this if you did want to go down the sports car route as a daily driver. Would you be conscious about keeping this outside in all weathers 24/7 if no garage? To be honest, I do that in any case. I keep this out all the time. I generally garage my 997. I've got another 911 which I haven't revealed on the channel yet, so I'll keep quiet on that, but I keep that in the garage, keep the 997 in the garage, try to keep the Cayman in the garage as well. So this kind of stays outside most of the time, purely because with it being a daily, it's easy to just get in and out, rather than every time you want to get in and out, you've got to open and close the garage, things like that. So I just find it easier to keep it outside. What are the differences from your 997? Well, it's probably well documented all over the internet, the differences between the 997. For a start, this is a PDK, my 997 is a manual, the 997 is more compact. I think it's the 997 is probably more of a driver's car for going out and sort of hitting those B roads and the twisty canyon runs. 991 is, I would say, probably more of a touring car, so more of a, like a comfortable sort of driving up and down the motorway kind of car. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't have fun on the twisties, but there are big differences in the way they drive and the way they feel on these roads. Do you have anxiety when parking your car? Someone might scratch it, etc., especially being a daily driver. I will be honest, the answer is yes to that. I kind of pick and choose where I park this car. If it was the Audi, I'd be a lot less worried about parking it in a certain area or a certain place. So with this, I kind of do try and stick to the paid car parks if I need to go into town or something like that. So I am a little bit worried, just like anybody would be when they're parking up the 911 or any other Porsche. But so far, so far nothing bad has happened. Are there any options or features on your 991 that you couldn't live without? I love my CarPlay, I'm not going to lie, I love the CarPlay since it's been installed. I love the lowered suspension, I love the front aero kit. Other than that, the sports exhaust is one of the great options on this car. The car isn't actually particularly well spec'd. I think the things that I love about this car are the things that I've added onto it. So, you know, things like the CarPlay, the lowered suspension, the front end, the wheels, and a few of the bits and bobs dotted around the car. It wasn't the spec of the car that drove me to it, it was the condition of it and the full service history. You seem to get more rain than here in Newfoundland. Do you not drive it in the rain? I have to drive it in the rain. It's a daily driver, so whether it's raining or not, which generally in the Newcastle upon Tyne, Northern England, right now I would say in April has been one of the wettest Aprils on record. So you may have seen some of my Instagram posts. It's just constantly raining and the car's always wet. So yeah, it's annoying, but I have no problems with driving in the rain at all. Now, you mentioned on your other 991s that you have rattles and vibrations. Is this the same? Well, this car is much better. There is a rattle on this car. There's only one rattle and vibration coming from this little panel here and this area here. So I can live with it. Yes, it's annoying, it's frustrating. Every time there's a bit of bass on the music, I kind of have to push down on this, but it doesn't really do much. So I'm going to take the door card completely off and I'm going to completely soundproof it all and make sure the rattle goes away. But with regards to other rattles that are well known in the 991, this car doesn't suffer from any of that. And again, that was one of the reasons that attracted me to this car. No rattles and vibrations. I absolutely hate rattles and vibrations. And guess what? I bet I'm not the only one. In summary, it's a fantastic car. Look, after this, I'm going to do some grocery shopping. And guess what? I'm doing it in a Porsche 911. It's so much fun. But I hope this has given you some ideas if you are thinking about buying one of these, or you've already got one and you're going to use it as a daily driver, because it's one of the most comfortable 911s that they've ever made. Probably not as comfortable as the 992, but certainly in terms when you look back at like the 996, the 997s, as far as daily drivers go, this is the one to have when it comes to the older models for a daily driver. That's in my opinion in any case. But I hope it has helped you guys. As always, if you've taken some maybe enjoyment out of this video, or you've taken some handy tips, then please give that video a like and also subscribe to this channel as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.